All right, we've got audio. We're about to begin. I hope you can hear me well. And let us begin. Shabbat Shalom, my most esteemed friends, honorable judges, LVE tribe, as well as everyone listening. On this rather precious, sunny, heated day of Shabbat from California, the US of A, today being the 22nd day of Sivan of the year 5993, corresponding to the 29th of June of the year 2024, we shall have yet another chapter of Wisdom and Discipline, part 23. Can we change the apocalypse, part 6? Of course. We'll see how much we can advance during this subject. More than anything, it's just an instruction. At this point in time, I have questions to answer, and I love the questions that you may have, no matter which they could be. You can send them via Facebook in a private DM, and I'll respect the anonymity. Keep them anonymous so that you can feel comfortable and ask whatever you would like. If I can respond, so then we are living in a time in this world in which we need to be instructed, we need to learn many things. That is why the questions are so important, and sometimes, not all the time, but even more important, they become even more important than to study something from Scripture, because they are the needs that we have to develop ourselves as judges, human beings, with justice, and all the rest. Very well. Let us begin with a word of prayer. Beloved Yahweh, we give you thanks for this so precious day of Shabbat. We give you thanks for life. But we're also here to ask you that we're arriving at the end of the time that you have given to this creation, the time in which you will give power unto the Mashiach, this group of people that will rule with justice this world. And we really wish for it to be soon. And if it's at all possible to be this year, and we thank you for all this in your precious name, Yahweh Sabaoth, Alleluia. Yahweh has blessed with one more year of life the following members of the Eternal Truth: Mario Ortega, Mexico; Rosela Isela Ceves, Mexico; Jose Ramon Hernandez, Colombia; Rudy Oliver Machaca Calderon, Peru; Belén Catalina Ardiles, Chile; Sara Lisette Quintero, Colombia; Mauricio Rey, Italy; Gabriela Isabel Aguilar, Chile; and Audrey Lee, who regularly visits us and they come here, but now they couldn't make it, so then we send them a great big hug. Unto Audrey and to each and every one of you that have had birthdays, many blessings on behalf of Yahweh and also on our behalf. And we hope that it's your very last birthday under this government that has ruled this earth for 6,000 years, and it's always been the injustice and disaster and disorder and all the rest. I'd like to send one last greeting because we don't have any more information from the following people. We believe that they have left, and if they haven't left, then please respond, and we'll add you with lots of pleasure to our list. Last greeting to Ricardo González Hernández, Chile; Betsaida Polanco, the Dominican Republic; and Veronica Florian, the US of A. If you are still listening to me, you can write to me, or you can write to Gabriel Heyer to continue and keep you active on the list. Very well. I'd like to present these cups that were brought to us by Edward and Gabi, who went to have a trip to Kentucky. You did go to Kentucky, right? What? Was it Kentucky? They went to Kentucky and they brought us back. I hope so. It was Kentucky, right? They brought us back these two precious cups as something which has to do with where they went. Spectacular. It's two little mugs, like cups, precious. Many thanks, Edward. Many thanks, Gabi, for the cups. They're precious. We love them. and we already have them back with us. Very well. We are studying a subject that's rather spectacular, that I really don't understand how there's not a lot more people listening, and I also don't understand how there's a lot of people that listen to us. It's kind of like they don't no longer want to listen to us. It's like, I don't know what human beings want. Humans are either trained for destruction and punishment, although they may be implied in that for freedom for one and life for everyone. My mind cannot process it because I've seen that the views of the video and the comments have gone down unexplainably, so as to say we don't like this. Either this group is being reduced to only those that have to stay, or the words of he that shall persevere until the end, he shall be a part, not saved, but because it is a parable, they're all going to be saved, will be fulfilled, but he that persevereth until the end, he shall deserve a glory crown, a lot more important than those that don't have a crown of glory, that are merely saved. Very different. I don't have another explanation because, to tell the truth, there's no other group out there that teaches you to live this life with justice without any rules, dogmatic ones, or watching to see, oh, this offends God, or the other, he tells you not to do this, or he sends you to hell, a whole bunch of things. Apparently humans need that, or we know that he doesn't need it, but that they are programmed to accept that, and if it's not that, then it's fake. And to delete the programming, just as Yeshua told Nicodemus, in order to understand this, you really have to be born again. And there are people that really have to be born again to delete all the lies inherited, programmed, and that accept as religion a God, a fictitious God, a God between parentheses. They see him as just, when in their mind they know that there are things that are unacceptable in scriptures, and they have a problem of understanding that we should all be saved, because in their mind also there is a condemning to themselves, mind you, to themselves. Humans condemn one another, or else they condemn themselves, rather, when Yahweh, in the form of Yeshua, he said, before criticizing the hay of your neighbor's eye, look at the big old 4x4 in your eye. It's 1,000 times larger, but we don't see it. We see the hay in someone else's eye, and they have to go to hell. God wants you to keep this. God doesn't want you to do that. That these deserve a horrible death or torture, eternal torture, and they're not able to reason and see, what do I believe in? Because that is the problem of the religions, all of them, absolutely every last one of them. They make you have a terrifying fear to a God that will punish you, and precisely the people know how hypocrite they are, but they hide that in their mind, even to themselves. They hide it from their own selves, and they try to get on the side of that punishing God. This week, precisely, I was listening to, because I'd like to listen to all kinds of things. I like to see what is it that people are saying, or what is their opinion. I was listening to a pastor, Christian pastor, not non-Adventist, that started his subject with a phrase that surprised me, that he said, it's contrary to everything that we teach. Well, Christianity is always contrary to everything that we teach, but it's contrary to this. He said it in English. He said, the world cannot escape the book of Revelation. The world cannot escape from the book of the Apocalypse. He says they're doomed. Destruction is written. There is no possible escape. The only escape would be the rapture. So then I say, wow, how do you make people change, those who believe in the Bible as the Word of God, just like we also believe, that the things written in it is not what it appears to be at a simple glance? How to change that if they have that burned into their mind? How to change that? Well, in Spanish, well, this is just in Spanish, mind you, and I didn't even check it in Greek, okay? I could care less. Well, it's not that I don't care. I didn't think of checking it in Greek. But in Spanish, sometimes in the wrongly used Spanish, like generally we do, and to top it off with all the types of Spanish that we have, it starts to program us in a way that sometimes we don't even notice. For example, when Yeshua said in Matthew 24, I don't know if somebody has ever noticed this, or it's comical. It's comical. Matthew 24, 32 and on, learn of the fig tree, the parable. It's all a parable. When already its leaves are tender and the summer is near, you know that the harvest is near. Also, ye know this, and the fig tree is Israel, because it's compared in the Tanakh that the fig tree, a very important symbol in Israel, is the fig tree. So then if we were to look at the fig tree, because to look into the fig tree is not the sense of just look at it. No. It's not the summer, it's the end of the world, and the fig tree is Israel. So then when the fig tree is alive and about to growing, showing its leaves, in other words, grown, the world, the end of the world as we know it, is near. And who is the fig tree? It's Israel. So then Israel has been disappeared for almost 2,000 years, deleted from the place where they lived. And it's been precisely 74 years ago, 75, right? It's been 75 already completed, right? 75 years ago that the fig tree that started to flourish. And it's already been 75 years, this fig tree. That fig tree, 75 years old. I was asking Angeline, I don't have that. Let's see. I asked her how long a fig tree would last, and she looked it up on Google, and she said approximately 80 years, apparently, she said. Some can last longer, but an average of 80 years, and that's all they lived. So then, the fig tree, but I mean, taking that out, the fig tree, which represents Israel, had to flourish. And it had to flourish in its country as a nation. It is the sign, one of the greatest ones we have, to see the fig tree flourish, and to top it up, flourish given its fruits, right? Because the fruit is evil. It's evil, really, and shooting its fruits all over the place and all the rest. So then that fig tree which flourished controls the world, controls the businesses, economy, controls the governments, controls medicine, controls your life, controls everything. It has a time in which it will disappear, because that change will come. And here it says, Yeshua says, learn from the parable. When you see the fig tree, when its leaves are tender, you will know that the summer, the end of the world, is near. And also, both of you, when you see these things, know that it is close, at the door. What is the change? How long, Angelina, was it? 80 years? Or 200, pardon me. Okay, I'm given misinformation. 200 years is the fig tree? Okay, then we have a fig tree for a while then. But, okay, precisely, it talks about a generation of the fig tree. 200 years, it says. Verily, verily, I say unto you, that this generation shall not pass. Here it doesn't matter if the fig tree lasts 200 or 1,000. Verily, verily, I say unto you, this is in Spanish, mind you. I want you to understand this in Spanish. It's a play of words. It's very subtle. And I want you to be sincere. If one of you one time thought about it, it went up to your mind or not. Don't come at me and says, yes, of course you're right. Many will say that, but I want you to say whether that was something that you did think about it. Don't say, oh, yeah, I suspected. Don't come up with stupid shit. Just tell me if you had thought about this, what I'm about to say. Verily, verily, I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. What does the end of it all say? My words shall not pass away. But of course, my words will not happen. See, my words will not come to pass is actually what it's saying. I understand. How does it say in English? Look it up for me, Angelina, please. It doesn't say anything, right? It's only in Spanish, right? It's just a play of words in Spanish. The one that translated this actually, wow. My word shall not come to pass. So then why say them if they're not going to come to pass? It says the prophecies that I tell you will not come to pass. Of course, you see what you're reading if they were to say that, right? It says, and heaven and earth shall pass away. Of course, I understand. But it's trying to say is that heaven and earth shall no longer be, but my word shall not stop existing. That's what it's trying to say, but that's not what they translated. They translate, and they shall pass, but my word shall not come to pass. So then the words of Yeshua will not come to pass in the way that people think that they will come to pass. Let's say it that way. They will not come to pass. Okay, they said away, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not come to pass. Well, it's kind of like it. My word shall not come to pass. Away, I mean, they shall not pass away. I understand that. With the away, it changes. I understand. It changes the meaning a bit with the away. It changes. So then, my word shall not come to pass, is what Yeshua said. Well, it's a play of words. Okay, don't take it as Yeshua saying that his words will not come to pass. But I am saying something very seriously now, and this is outside of any other translation. The earth and the heaven will not ever stop existing. We're talking about our heaven, not Yahweh's, okay? The heaven that we know as heaven. They will not stop existing. So then it means, because it says, he assures heaven and earth shall stop existing, but my word shall not stop existing. So then I, with all the new information that I've got, I say stop a little bit. So then I have to recalculate. You know that when the GPS, you lose it, it says recalculating, it's recalculating the route. So then heaven and earth shall not stop existing. Because or else, why the fuck are we trying to understand something if we're going to all be destroyed, the earth all be destroyed, all new? Why 6,000 years here on the other? Why 6,000 years of torture to make everything new? No, so then heaven and earth will not stop existing. So then words of Yeshua will stop existing. And that is so clear. The Bible will stop existing, and heaven and earth shall continue to exist forever. It is completely the contrary, but since Yahweh is the creator and the chief architect of the use of words, he's telling you, look, my creation will never stop existing. All the stupid things that I'm saying here, they will stop existing, and they will no longer be in the way that people think they will no longer be, because there is no way of explaining. There is no way of explaining what Joel says, what Ezekiel says, what Isaiah says, what Jeremiah says, what Zephaniah says, or what Peter says. There is no re-explanation of that. It is absolute lie. It will not happen. Just like that, it will not come to pass. The apocalypse is something else. When I say, can we change the apocalypse? Can we change the revelation? No. We can change the meaning of what we thought before. It will not change, but the written words will no longer be and no longer exist. Heaven and earth will continue to exist. We shall reform it and change it or whatever, but it'll continue to exist. One thing is to destroy everything and to do it all over again, and something else to reform. It'll continue to exist. We'll reform the creation. We will not destroy the creation and make a new creation. All the Christians think that there will be a new creation, new heavens and a new earth. And I say that will not be. It'll be a renewed heaven and a renewed earth. But creation has been 6,000 years to stay here. Now, so then Yeshua says, heaven and earth shall pass, shall not pass. His word shall not come to pass. Is it hard what I'm saying? Yes, totally. But it's for the understood. Maybe this week more people will leave. But this is not for the mind that needs what is written and what is programmed to exist. No, absolutely not. We have a different mind, a different mentality. So then I take them literally in Spanish, that it's been the language which Yahweh chose, not I, to give a message, a unique message, in the message in which Elijah would speak. Yahweh chose it, not I. And not any Spanish, but a very special one. That's what he chose. So then it's over all other languages. But of course, it's over Hebrew. But by far, Hebrew is a language that is dead. I want to make that very clear. Oh, but I didn't ask, but you can hear me well, right? But the question is, can you hear me well? And give us a like, by the way. I'll say it again. Hebrew language is a dead language. Just like that. Dead. Very well. So then, Yeshua says in Spanish, Yahweh says, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass, shall not come to pass. So his words will never come to pass. They will not happen. And the subject becomes very difficult for certain people. That's why this one pastor made me laugh. And attention, when he said, the world cannot escape the book of Revelation. That's it. The world cannot escape the book of Revelation. They're all doomed. It'll all be destroyed. They're all going to be dead and killed. The earth will be destroyed by fire. No, none of that will come to pass. Absolutely none of that will come to pass. Very well. And I also notice in the accepting of this message, in the cooperation of yours with this ministry. Lately, I believe you've become very loose, the cooperations of yours. I do not criticize, nor am I telling to those that are still cooperating, because yes, they are the ones that give life to this ministry, but many others, it's kind of like, it's all fine, but I'll listen to him, but I no longer like what he said. And oh well, I'm not going to cooperate or anything. Think it over where your treasure is really. We live, and I give thanks to all those that, yes, they value this message, and they cooperate with what they can with this message. Very well. Next week, let me tell you about Etanim. I don't think I've told you. Let me tell you about Etanim, speaking about Yom Kippur, the date that took on a new and only meaning, or else it would have no meaning, really. That's important. Etanim. Yom Kippur, that is. The 10th of Etanim, or Tishri of this year, 2024, will be on a, do you want to know what day? It'll be on a Sunday. In other words, the Shabbat 12th of October, October 12th, will be the day prior. It'll be the 9th. So then that Shabbat, when the sun goes down, will enter into Yom Kippur. In other words, when I will be speaking, many of you will already be in Yom Kippur, because in Europe and in other places where the hour is way ahead of ours in a different time zone, they'll be living in Yom Kippur already while I'm speaking. So then while for us, that what did I tell you? That, what day did I say? Oh, I told you, the 12th of October, that October 12th, Shabbat, October 12th at sunset, we shall enter into Yom Kippur, which is the 13th, number 13. Number 13, which is of October, which is a Sunday. So then Yom Kippur, from there on out, you can get all the other dates. Yom Teruah will be October 4th on a Friday. It'll be Friday, October 4th. Pardon me. Thursday night, Thursday evening, Friday is Yom Teruah, which is a non-workable day that Friday, but we enter into Yom Teruah and we'll greet you on Thursday, October 3rd. Thursday, October 3rd, we shall enter into, at sunset, we shall enter to Yom Teruah, which will be on Friday. Now, the 10th is the 13th, and Tabernacles or Sukkot begin on the 18th. Friday, the 18th, is the 15th of Etanim, where Tabernacles begins, the first day of Sukkot. In other words, these are the dates. Yom Teruah, October 4th, a Friday. Yom Kippur, Sunday, the 13th of October. First day of Sukkot, Friday, October 18th. And last day of the feast will be Friday, October 25th. So then Sukkot will be enjoying between the 18th and the 25th of October. We shall have Sukkot. I've already given you the calendar. Let's see if this week I remember to publish it, and you can ask for the dates and all the rest. Very well. But how interesting, right? Yom Kippur will be on a Sunday. And we've got lots of faith. I don't know why Yahweh has let us down, or we've misunderstood, or that's the way it is. That's the way it is. But that letdown, we have so many, we've lived so many apocalypses in this ministry. We've survived many, a whole quantity. Shemah Israel, YHWH Eloheinu, YHWH Ekhad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our Elohim, Yahweh one is. It's not two, not three, not a son to give, not a being that's called the Holy Spirit. It's one sole being. It's one sole being. Absolutely, it's one sole being. Proverbs 25:2, it is the glory of Elohim to conceal the word. The word is concealed. To top it off, it says, my word shall not pass. They shall not come to pass, that is. They shall not come to pass. It is the glory of Elohim to conceal the word, yet the honor of the king is to search out the word. The whole world, and when I say that, I'm referring to the whole world except for us, because we are forewarning it now. Will say, Yahweh my strength and my fortress, Jeremiah 16:19-21. Yahweh my strength and my fortress, my refuge in the day of tribulation. Unto thee shall come the peoples from the ends of the earth, and shall say, only lies was the inheritance of our fathers. How much truth? Only lies. Vanity to which there is no avail. If it is man that makes himself gods, then they are not gods. That is why, behold, I shall make it be known. This time I shall show them the strength of mine arm, not our arms, but of mine arm, because it's only one being, and they shall know that my name, not our name, is Yahweh. All the rest of the gods are fake. The God Christ Jesus of 2,000 years ago, it's a fake God, just like that, fake. I'll have to say it like that so you understand it. That Christ Jesus Lord is fake. There is no Christ Lord. There's no Jesus Christ of 2,000 years ago. Not in heaven or earth. He does not exist. A being came that made himself, played the role as the Son of God, or the Son of God. But it was the only one there is. The only one available there wasn't another. There was no one else. He was the Creator. He came and took on flesh and human nature, and he said, I cannot say that I'm the Creator because none will listen to me, and it's not convenient for me, and it's my plan. And I've been lying to you from the beginning. Oh, if I lied to you one more, until all this ends, that is the nature of this creation. I should tell them something impossible to believe, that I am the Son of God, when in the Bible, the only Son of God is Israel. God says, I have called my son from Egypt. So then for some being to come and say, I am the Son of the Most High, he's either lying or the whole rest of the book is a lie. Which of the two is it? The book cannot be lying because he bases himself in the book. If he said, well, the book is a lie, well, we'll make a new book. The other book was a lie. Moses invented it, but he didn't say that. So then, we understand clearly that there is only one being, and the Creator came, who covered himself with human flesh, and he covered himself, his true identity. He covered it, and when he was tired, that his disciples told him, show us Yahweh, show us the Father, because we're sick and tired of seeing you. You say, I am, shows the Father, and it's enough. That'll be enough with us. With you, it's not enough. With you, it's not enough. His disciples were, if it were 12 or more, doesn't matter, either 12 or 13 more ignorance or more. The most ignorant ones he could find, he got. He said, should I look for this one from the Torah? No, I can't, because he's going to say, whenever I say I'm the Son of God, he will rise up and go, and he'll try to stone me because he knows what is written, that God does not have a son. Whom do I look for? Let's see, good people? No, also that, because they're going to ask those that know, and they're going to say, don't believe them, don't believe them. You have to stone him. He's a liar. He's a blasphemer. God does not have a son. Whom do I look for? Well, who are the most idiots that there's ever been here? That stink and they're brutes, actual brutes, complete brutes. Well, the fishermen, they didn't know about the Torah. They didn't know about anything. They didn't know anything. They were just fishing brutes by the sun. See if we can fish something. There wasn't much philosophy in their mind. There was no Torah whatsoever in their minds. There wasn't anything in their mind. They were really brutes, actual brutes. He says they're going to follow me. Why are they going to follow me? Because they're brutes. Because they're not going to question. Whenever I say I'm the Son of God, they won't say, in what part of the Torah or the Tanakh does it say that God has a son? They're not going to say that. They're not going to quote even the Shemah because they don't know it. So then I need that type of people that will follow me. In most of my time, I'll be outside of Israel in Galilee of the Gentiles. What Galilee? Galilee of the Gentiles. Galilee of the Goyim. They're gonna even question me even less. They could care less about anything. That's why I'm gonna try to pass through Jerusalem in the very least possible, because every time I go there, they're going to want to stone me, and they'd be right to want to stone me, so then I'll stay away from them. So then he looked for the most ignorant people, the worst brutes he could find, and said, hey, look, I have some powers, and either way, he caught them all. One that kind of studied, he came and he said, he says, I saw you were sitting under, what tree was it? What tree was it that he saw him? He says, I saw you there, that you were doing something, praying. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. And the guy said, well, this guy has powers, mind you. And that's how he convinced him. Like any witch would. I know that you were there. And he said, to top it off, he praised him. He says, this is a true Israelite. And the guy came up with his big chest like this. He couldn't fit in his shirt. He told me, he was an ignorant fool. But he said, this guy's a real Israelite. That's what happens when, it happens up until today. When one speaks in tongues, those religions, those idiot Christian religions, the pastor comes and says, you have the Spirit of God is in you. The people want to speak in tongues even more and throw themselves to the floor, and the players, which is the most ignorant ones, there are soccer players, the most ignorant thing that exists. They don't even know how to change a light bulb, nothing like that. They don't know how to do that, nothing. They were born with the ball, and they're going to die with the ball. But don't ask him anything else, because he doesn't know how to do anything else. Many of them don't even know how to drive. That's how I tell you. With that, I tell you everything. It's kind of, if you look for yourself or a group of soccer players, what do the soccer players do? Now they're in the Christian religion. They're like, oh yeah, they praise, and they kneel down and they praise and thanks God. But you never heard, you ignorant fool, that it says don't worship me in public, don't act like the Pharisees. You want to praise me, then go do it where nobody sees you. Oh no, these guys, they enter in there, they pray, especially the Brazilians and the Colombians, and now they are taking over the Argentinians into that whole. I don't know if they're Colombians, I don't know, but that a whole meta starts to happen. The Brazilians, I am sick and tired of them. I would eliminate them from all. You're gonna pray, then it's out of here. He's so anti-religion. Red card. Just like that red card, even worse to kneel down to pray than to kick somebody, than to take your shirt off. The arbiter, if somebody sees this now, they say, this guy is like Nebuchadnezzar. No, I am teaching. You started to pray, then a red card. Go and pray into your room for us to not say something else. I was going to say something else, but... So then whatever prayer, out of here, out of here. I don't even want to see you. Why? Because it's the complete, they do it to demonstrate their love towards God. It is fake. It is complete. It is nauseous. It is nauseous. They think they are Daniel. They think they're Daniel. That's why they say you can't pray. Daniel was praying at home. He wasn't going to pray in public. Exactly. Red card to all those that cast themselves so far to pray. So then those fishermen were like these soccer players that don't understand anything about anything. They don't understand anything, absolutely nothing. Because when they have to lie, they're praying. But when they have to lie, for example, just an example. A son of a bitch was called Borga, a chicken player, Colombian. That guy enters praying and goes out praying. But when nobody touches him and he thinks and he wants to deceive the arbiter, he acts like if they killed him on the floor. Nobody even touched him. But they want to deceive so that they can give him the penalty. I mean, didn't the prayer make you more just, right? Because if nobody hits you, then don't cast yourself to the floor asking for a penalty. Don't do that. Don't be such a son of a bitch. Why the fuck are you praying? Wow. I mean, actually... A righteous person does not cast themselves to the floor, and they do it because they have to. And the referee charges, he could say, no, it was not. He didn't touch me. Just imagine a soccer player to say, no, he didn't touch me. No, he didn't touch me. When they touch his hand, nobody touched his hand. But when they touch his shirt or just anybody, oh, hand. They're all sons of bitches. They always want the advantage and the lies. Always. That's the way they are. They don't forget to enter and to pray. Pray to the Lord. Very well. And we have to help Brazil with penalties that don't exist to see if we can help them out a bit. Because they're embarrassing. It's embarrassing, actually. Well, I'm not going to say anything. So we have to help them. To see if it's a penalty or another, and we'll keep giving them penalties until Brazil wins. They won with some penalties that never existed, and we have to stop Argentina. We have to throw the coach on them. It says if it's 3 minutes late, he cannot be here. He cannot be here on the bench because Argentina got here 3 minutes late. They don't take into account that the stadiums are horrible. In order to get there, it was a whole problem to get there. That doesn't matter. He was late. It's like we're gonna stop Argentina that way. That's the way it is. There's no problem. And I really wish for Mexico win. When does Mexico win? Tomorrow Mexico wins. I hope they win. Okay? I hope Mexico wins. That's why they pass. So that we can play together. Or else we won't be able to play. There's only one team that always has to help Mexico at the end. You know who it is. That's why I want Mexico to pass. That's why I want Mexico to pass. Very well. Taking that out. We are in the stupidity of Christianity. How to change the mind of the people. It's difficult. It is very difficult. Yahweh had to look for a group of actual ignorant fools to convince them to follow him. And afterwards, the whole ignorant world followed him. I mean, it's a consequence, an absolute consequence. Very well. So then what are they going to say? Only lies was the inheritance of our fathers. And they shall know that my name is Yahweh. He's only one. It's not two or three. He doesn't have a son. I am not the Messiah. Yahweh says, I am not the Messiah. I'm not Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ does not exist. That Jesus Christ, he's the red heifer. He was burned. He had his function and is burnt. He is made ashes, the Christ Jesus of 2,000 years ago, and he is ashes. But the people are waiting for him to come back, to look for them when he does not exist anymore. Because the one that exists is Yahweh, and the Messiah is not the one that came 2,000 years ago. Malachi, Angelina, can you give me one of those? I forgot. It's a protest, not against Yahweh. The protest is still there. The protest is still there. Give me the little octopus there. It's a protest still. Yeah, that one, exactly. We shall protest, all of us here. It's a protest against Yahweh, because the time is already way past. What else do we have to wait for? Malachi 2:17. Ye have wearied Yahweh with your words, and ye say, in what have we wearied him? When I asked if you can hear me well, did they say it was, yeah? In that you say that whomever doth evil pleaseth Yahweh, and in such he delighteth. Is that truth? It's absolutely truth. Or else, where is the Elohim of justice? The question, where is the Elohim of justice? Now the whole world knows where the Elohim of justice is. What is left is for the Elohim of justice to get invested, because he cannot invest himself, and nor will he invest himself. The one that has to come is the same one that gave him, that says, and power was given unto the beast, or power was given unto the dragon, and authority was given unto the dragon, and the seat was given to the dragon. No, that very same one has to come and says, and power was given unto the Elohim of justice, and the seat was given to rule the Elohim of justice. Authority was given unto the Elohim of justice. That is what Yahweh has to do. That is why they're all protesting. It's a protest here that they're all saying unto Yahweh, okay, when will you do that investment? And the word when is, it'll be this Yom Kippur. Will it be this one? Which is what we're asking for, because we know also what we don't know is the year, but it should be now. Or else, why to wake up unto a reality that won't be fulfilled? And we could continue to sleep, in order to wake up to a reality that's not going to be fulfilled. Very well. We shall initiate with the questions. First question. And I insist that you send me your questions because I love them. I love the questions. And I even like the questions even more than to have to study forcefully something new in scriptures. But of course, because it is what we need. Hello, Christian. Question about a study, if you can consider it. Why do we feel that rejection, anguish, or fear towards death, not just for us, but mostly because of our beloved ones? Might it be by ignoring that state, might be our nature, and to resent, love, and miss, or maybe we have something implicit in our spirit that knows, and that takes us into these emotions, and we know it not. Might it be that pain that we experience in sentence agony is the worst in death, and that is our rejection? Of course, for Yahweh, they all live, just like you have explained, and there are things that have to be fulfilled. A great big hug, Christian. I don't want to extend myself. Okay, it's a perfect question. Why do we feel that rejection towards death? Because actually, all we could care about is life. It's as simple as that. We reject whatever is unexplainably stops having life or no longer has life, because we're going to miss it, and no matter of the hope you'll see it someday, he'll resurrect. That was 6,000 years that he's been with that same lie, and nobody has ever seen a dead person that has been resurrected, except for Lazarus. The stories that they tell us that it was worthless because he died either way afterwards. Who the fuck was Lazarus either way? What do we care about? If the pain that humanity suffers for death is terrible, even when the parents are older and they died, the sons that died before that, I mean, you can't explain it. The pain of death is only that you can only feel. You can't even explain it. What am I going to explain to a father that loses a son? I cannot explain. I cannot explain it because there's no way to repair. It's only to be content. I'm so sick of being content because this life is dog shit, even if it's a creation, even just like the Song of Iron Maiden says, which says, as soon as you're born, or as we are born, you're dying, or as soon as you're born, as soon as you're born, you're dying. As soon as you're born, you're dying. And it is clear. We think that we're filled with life. We're filled with death. We're dying. A baby's born and he's already dying. Because he will complete a process, but he's dying. Of course, if he's going to get to 80 years old, let's suppose 80 years old, every day that passes is one day less. So it's not that he's growing. He is literally dying. Ever since we are born. And the one to blame is only one soul murderer that exists here. Our death was not produced or brought about by anyone else, but by the Creator. So then I don't want to see these white hairs on me. I don't want to see them. They bother me. And I have to put up with them because he came up with the idea that you're going to die, and in slow motion. You're not going to die at the peak of your youth and beauty and strength. No, you're going to see the decay little by little. You'll see the wrinkles. You'll see how your skin falls. You'll see how you lose strength. You'll see how you lose strength in other places. You'll see how the hair falls off. It goes white and the wrinkles. And if you live even longer, you become even more of a monster. Those people that are older than 100 years old are literally monsters. Look at the people that are like 140 years old, and it impresses you. It's shocking. Why? Because Mr. Creator came up with a brilliant idea to kill us in slow motion. Do not have the very least doubt that God is killing you right now. He's killing you. It's not that he killed all the ones that are dead. We that are alive, he's killing us. Because he's not the devil or your sin or your guilt. It is the nature that Yahweh placed in us. So then, you have to stop that. That is why the God of justice comes. Yahweh is to blame for every death of his creation. That is clear. Of course, it's a plan of creation, and we're going to place it as that way and see it that way. But Yahweh is the one killing us now. Every last one of us, and he's killing us in slow motion, torturing us. Because in the measure that we grow old, we look at ourselves in the mirror, we lose the beauty, the strength, the vitality, and of course, the value goes down. We lose value. And we go into a vicious cycle that everything starts to sink. What do you think that everyone after 40 years old, everything starts to hurt? For what reason? Because we lose value. We devalue ourselves. We lose the strength, the beauty, the drive of your youth. We lose it. We lose it little by little. And we start to lose patience. We lose a whole bunch of things. The hair. We lose everything, even until you don't even want to live, literally. And who is to blame for that? Christians are going to say, it's Satan and sin. No. There's only one sole person to blame. His name is Azazel. Azazel has us all doomed, no matter if you're righteous or not. Doesn't matter. You're extremely doomed ever since you're born. As soon as you're born, you are dying. Once you accept that reality, well, you kind of, go by because you have some years of life left. How horrible is that? It's horrible. Solomon saw it, and he said, yeah, I've learned that man can live 60, 70, 80, or 2,000 years, and if you're going to die, it's exactly the same thing. It is of no value to have lived 70 or 2,000 years old. None whatsoever. Because at 2,000, they'll pass, and if you're 2,000 years old, let's suppose the imagination that we could live 2,000 years. Let's suppose that 1,000, 1,500, you live in your best state of strength, beauty, of everything, of intelligence. And then after the last 500, there's a decline when everything's going to be okay for 1,500 years. But afterwards, the last 500 years old, when you're 99 years old, you're going to say, why did I live so long? It makes no sense, and it makes no sense. Just like that, it makes no sense whatsoever. So then, if we're dying, it is due to Yahweh. The only one that can change this is the Mashiach. He cannot come and intervene and say, yes, I am everyone's murderer, and I come to change. It would not be fair. And once the people understand the truth, they'll understand why there's a Mashiach. They'll understand it clearly. The love they have towards Jesus Christ now will disappear towards that Christ of 2,000 years ago. And they will be born due to the Mashiach, Savior of the world. The one that will save the world. The world needs salvation because the world is dying. They don't need salvation because they're sinners, because they're dying, because they've already died, and because all the ones that are alive will die. And to top it off, power is given into the beast that all they want to do is to continue to pacify people, So then, why do we have that rejection towards death? Because actually, death is the non-existence, and we do not want to no longer exist. And when somebody stops existing, that person does not suffer, but the ones that suffers is us. Absolutely, it is us. For example, there's a story of a couple that tells the other one, if we would have to, well, how does the story go? It's a good one. It's a good one because it's understandable. A wife asks her husband if we would have to kill each other because something's happening. She says, who would kill whom? Something like that. Who would kill whom? Or whom would you prefer to die first? So then the husband looks at her and says, I'll kill you first, without any second thought. So the wife says, but why? I know that you're pretty much of a son of a bitch, because that's how the wives are. But why would you kill me first? Don't you see that I would do it out of love? Because I would save you all the drama. If I kill you first, you won't feel anything. The one that has to kill you is me, and then I have to do away with my life. It's terrible. It's terrible. Out of love, he would do it. He could not say, kill me, and I'll leave you all the responsibility. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because the issue here is the one that's left alive. That is the issue, not the one that dies. The one that dies, I mean, that's it. He doesn't feel anything. He lost it all. The one that's left alive, that's the issue. The one that's left alive. And of course, it sounds weird saying, out of love, I'll kill you first. But it is very, very clear to understand when you say, I will not allow for you to suffer. I will not allow for you to suffer. I mean, it's horrible. Well, that is the reality that we have. That is the absolute reality that we have. There is no Christ Jesus that comes to look for us. There's no rapture for anyone, and death is already, we're sick and tired of it already. That is why I tell you the truth. If it's not fulfilled with the clarity that we started to see the scriptures, that God cannot be under any aspect the Elohim of justice, that there's no other Elohim of justice in heaven that's about to come, then let us swear to glory to die, with glory to die. And what does it mean, with glory to die? Really, by understanding our point of view and justice. Just like that, it's preferable to die that way than to continue on living, believing, I don't know, or dying, believing a lie. Tell you the truth, it is to die with lots of glory due to the objective of saving humanity of the state that we are in. So then, all the emotions that we feel when a beloved dies, which could be a dog, a cat, it is because we do not want for that to exist. We don't want for that to exist. We want for death to stop existing, for death to no longer exist. Someone in the comments in YouTube wrote, death will continue on existing during the millennium. I don't know with what base. Well, with no base, those are his thoughts, individual thoughts, that he believes that death will continue to exist during the millennium. In other words, the seventh millennium. He does not clarify if someday it'll no longer exist, because maybe he thinks that during the millennium death will exist, and after the millennium, in the 8th millennium, it will no longer exist right there. I don't know, it's thoughts that they could have. I personally believe that death has to no longer exist as soon as the Mashiach is raised. It has to no longer exist. Once the Mashiach has the kingdom, he can no longer allow death. So then, or else we'd be in the same stupid fucking shit of all the time. There's absolutely the same thing. And aside from that, if there's the resurrection key, why then would death have to exist? And death is a contrary to resurrection. So then the truth to this question, you are right, we have all the right to suffer, and the truth is that we will surround it like a package, that resurrection will come, the hope of life. Only thing that's good for is to soften the blow of the pain and suffering, because in death there is pain of the beloved kin, of the non, of course, maybe not, but of those that love that person, there is pain in the separation completely, and we have to look for some reason to hold on to soften that blow, that pain, to soften it, to try to bury it, but it always hurts. When you remember your fathers, your grandparents, if you love them, or your uncles, you remember them no longer with pain, but with love, and that you would like to see them again. But that is because you healed, but the pain is underneath. The pain is underneath because the absence continues. Very well. I tried to answer this in the very best way possible. It is completely normal, and let us thank for the Yahweh for the death, and that he continues to kill us. Careful, Yahweh continues to kill us, and he's killing us right now, in this very, as we speak. We are dying every day that passes. If it doesn't happen here, I don't know what day in our life every one of us will have, but some of us maybe are on the last days. Maybe, I don't know. Ask the ones that just died lately. Did they know they were going to die? No. All of a sudden, bye. And that's it. It's over. Your time is up. Whom do you have to thank for that? Yahweh. Thank Yahweh for that. From beforehand, because he's killing you. The Christians don't see it that way. Nor do they see when Yahweh just shamelessly kills. Moses, for example. They don't even see when Yahweh kills in the flood. They don't see him as a murderer there. They see him like a righteous God, because they were evil and wicked. I don't know if some of you have seen the series that's called The Boys. I don't know. Is that what it's called? The Boys? Is that The Boys? Which is on Prime. It's a series of it's a disaster. I'm not recommending it. It's a superhero series, but superheroes that have the Yetzer Hara very much highlighted in their life, so then they are not the club of justice. No, they're not. They're not. No. If they have to kill, they kill. They could care less. They are people, common people with powers. And in order to justify deaths, they die. They lie because, he killed him because he was, a rapist, for example. Wow. That is exactly the same thing. I was explaining the highest end of them all that seems to be like a Superman, but he's not a Superman. What's the guy's name? Homelander. Homelander seems like a Superman. He's indestructible, the guy is. And he has a little son. And just out of anger, he killed some guy in the field. He upset him because he criticized him. He killed him. So then he told his son, the one that I killed, it was because he was a rapist. for example. He's an abusive child abuser. And the little kid believes it. Oh, yeah, my dad killed him because he was a child abuser. No. That little child are the Christians. They say, oh, Yahweh killed the world before the flood because they were wicked. Who says they were wicked? Does Noah say that? No. Noah doesn't say a word. He was a great son of a bitch. Nothing. He didn't say anything. Noah never said, what a horrible world I live in. None. Also, he didn't complain in the world that he lived in. He didn't complain. The other one that didn't complain was Lot. Lot lived kicked back entirely, because if it had bothered him to have lived there, he would have moved. Right now, he was kicked back. It was such a kickback place that he had 2 virgin daughters, something that you cannot say. So then where you live is worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. The guy says that he had 2 virgin daughters. So then, such a bad place, it wasn't that bad as they make it sound. It just wasn't that bad. And that's where he lived. He had his 2 virgin daughters, sons-in-law that were engaged, he had his wife still living with. The place wasn't that bad, apparently. He doesn't criticize it at all. And no moment, when? No, not Lot. Yes, Lot. When did Lot criticize the place that he lived in? Never, ever. Where did the criticism come from? From him. From Yahweh. He says, they're very bad cities. Where the proof? No, there's no proof. There's zero proof, zero evidence. How much proof is there that the world before the flood was evil? It's what Yahweh says, that it was wicked. It says the heart of men was only towards evil. They were evil, wicked, and I saw only one righteous man, Noah. He says, that idiot will listen to me, and I'll kill everybody else. The Christians don't see it that way. The Christians see it as if God killed them because they were all wicked. And they start to make things up. Ellen G. White says that humans had mixed themselves with animals. Oh yes, Ellen G. White says it. That the world before the flood, it was all a mixture already, that they had mixed each other. And the animal world, and the only one left that was pure blood was Noah, and the rest was a mix, a hybrid. They were hybrids. They were hybrids. That's what God says. No, and the Christians and these sons of bitches that are called, they're called the Messianic. The Messianic. Those Messianics love that, and they say they were all mixed with demons and animals. Wow, they're all just like the disciples. They're all just like Noah. They're all just like Abraham, who was about to kill his own son because God asked him to. And if God asks you to sacrifice your son, don't think it. Just do what God says. Now, those people are no good to be any reconstruction of a world. They're no good. And since Noah's no good, or Abraham, or Moses, or any of the prophets, or Peter, or John, or Paul, or any of the apostles, no one's good for in the Bible. No one in the Bible is any good except for the Elohim of justice, which was to be raised to stop the wrath of God before it blows up, because none of these sons of bitches would have stopped the wrath of God. They would have sat down and watched the wrath of God, because when the wrath of God would stop for its own, their prophets would get upset, like Jonah. He would get upset and says, now I want you to kill me. You didn't kill them. I could care less if they repented. I could care less about anything. I want to see them dead. Jonah said, you didn't kill them? Now kill me then. That's how all these sons of bitches are. That's how all the Christians are. That is why I cannot understand. And too many more will leave today, and they'll stop giving tithes and offering because they think that they are before some guy that's crazy. And tell you the truth, no, it's the only one that is sane in this whole world that is left. There's no one else. Because if we place this world in the hands of any Messianic, any Christian, any Jew, any Muslim, the world would be entirely destroyed. Just like that. Absolutely destroyed. 2. Hello, Christian. I have the following inquiry. The sentence that we did against Babylon in the judgment to be burned with fire, who will receive it? Is it symbolic? I understand that the judgment did stop the pernicious part of the first plague. Many greetings to all of you. It's a very good question. Babylon. In the case of the sentence that we give, it was not the humans, but it is the political power. And the political power has to be entirely eradicated, burned down to ashes. The political power, the forms of government, the countries, the states, who has the power in this world, all that has to be dissolved entirely. Not the people, not the presidents. It'll be all those presidents and all who have any political power completely destitute. So then, when I refer to Babylon, or the Bible refers to Babylon, that it has to be burned, it is the political system. The laws of Babylon, the religions which are Babylonian, and the book which governs Babylon, which is called the Torah. This is the manual of the beast, the manual of Babylon. Because Babylon is guided by the fig tree, and the gift tree has manual, which is this one. So then, when we want to burn with fire Babylon, also these laws are out of here entirely. Not the story, the history, not as a historical book, but the value that it has no value for me, but it weighs upon those people. That is why they have the system. For me, this has no value. These laws, zero. It doesn't. They've been annulled already. But for those people, the validity still exists, and they make them be fulfilled. And that is the power that it has. The power of sin is the law, and I say the power of Babylon is the law, and the power of Babylon is the Torah. Once they know, no, not once they know, when the anointing of power and authority and glory and dominion is upon the Son of Man, so then what it'll do is that he will destroy the system of Babylon. Not the people, mind you, but the system. Just like the religious system, just like the medical system, just like the scientific system, that whole system, that entire tangle of lies, it'll destroy it. That is what Babylon is. Hammer tried to destroy the evil medical system. He wasn't allowed, but he would have destroyed what the medical science is, as it is known, and would have instituted a science that's a lot truer. Not saying that it's completely true, because we'll advance even more from that. But everything that he discovered, he was not allowed to institute it. He didn't want to destroy the doctors. He wanted to destroy the system, which has the doctors entangled. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's very clear. So then, the sentence against Babylon is against the system. Very well. Well, this question makes me very upset. Next question makes me very much upset is those that make me upset against the Torah. Not the question itself, but rather with what I'm going to read in the Torah. It's one of those things that I just cannot contain myself. I can't help it. And if there's any Christian or some Messianic or some Jew that would want to use whatever mind is left in their mind, because the religion eats up your brain cells. Religion, there comes a point where it doesn't let you think anymore. Religion closes you into a point that you're not free of thinking. They tell you this is what God is and this is what God is. God wants this and God wants that. How much did Abraham think? Tell me. Was Abraham the great thinker? No. No, he was not the great thinker. There was one great thinker that in the end of it all, I don't know. Someday maybe I'll tell him that he was right. The great thinker was Solomon. He thought more than the rest. And what did he end up doing? Whatever he wanted. I'll make this temple here for these gods here. It's all dog shit anyway. Solomon, I've attacked him in the past with the intelligence that he had. It's like, he should have not just built, but before dying to destroy that dog shit temple. Of course. Just a little bit more intelligence. He says, but this that I built, I'm going to destroy this before I die, before this becomes a complete idolatry of this dog shit temple. Absolutely. Let's destroy it, absolutely. But he didn't dare do that, but he started to make other temples. So then I'm kind of giving him the right, Solomon. I think it's better that he said, you know what, this cannot be just like that, like it is. It cannot be. But people like the ones that I've just mentioned, wow. So then, this here really ignites my fury against this here. The question I love against this, and I'm going to read this to demonstrate why this has to be absolutely burned. Are there good things here? Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Half of it, yeah, well, doesn't matter the percentage, but not just because there are good things or half of it good, or more than half good, doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. I cannot accept this. I see something bad here, and what is bad here that I see destroys that which is good. It destroys it. Because we're talking about a penal code, and I don't see a bad thing, but 10,000 bad things. Let's start with that. It's not that I see one. No. So then when I start to see things that are absolutely completely out of it in this book, I say, okay, this book will not rule my life. I'll take what my intelligence, my justice says that this works, for example, not to steal. I'll take that. For example, the Shemah, Shema Israel, YHWH Eloheinu, YHWH Ekhad. It's true, I take that. Creation, I have a different place to take it. I know it's a parable. I know that it's all been done in 6 days to demonstrate the 6,000 years. There is no other reason. It could be very different. Creation is. I've already told you. I may have shocked you if it might be 2 or 3 more will leave now, but I could not care less when it says that Yahweh created the world. I know that they all lie, and they say I conceal everything, and it also says it's all a parable. So then, the 6 days of creation for me, for the only one that is good for, is to tell me this year, this world has 6,000 years, and every year, every day, this will happen. That'll happen, and that'll happen, and that'll happen every day. Has a brutal meaning that I've explained many times already for those that understand this, not for the newbies. And the 7th day is Shabbat. And the 6th day, man was created at the end after the beasts. That is marvelous. That's what's marvelous about it. Now I cannot imagine Yahweh creating the beasts and then creating men. I mean, that's a complete lie. Just like that, a complete lie, aside from the parable. That right there, we do believe it to the letter. But when Yahweh opened his mouth and he says, Lazarus, the poor thing, he went to heaven, he was sitting there in Abraham's bosom. That right there, I like an Adventist, the religious Christians believe that. No, the Adventists say that is just a lie, a parable, but the creation is not a lie. Well, the creation could be true, apparently. It could be a Chinese story completely. What for? Only to perfectly to say, look, this is 6,000 years. Things will happen this way every day. Every day, I'll tell you what will take place approximately in 1,000 years. It'll be 1st day, 2nd day, 3rd day, 4th day, 5th day, 6th day, and the 7th day. Well, the 6th one we're already fulfilling, and at the end of the 6th one, the last thing he did was make man, and the woman, of course, that is the man, and gave him dominion over the beasts. Now he needs to give us dominion over the beast. That's the only thing that creation is good for. Nothing else. Nothing else. It's no good for me to say, oh, how beautiful God. That sequence that he used, is it intelligent or not? Because to create the vegetables before the sun, it's not too intelligent. No, it's not too intelligent to create the vegetables and then the sun. Because that means that he created the vegetables. Hey, I need an energy source. Okay, now I'll make it. No, first you create the energy source and then the vegetables. Because it has no intelligence to create the vegetables first and then the sun, which gives life to the vegetables. So then, why did he create him that way? Due to the reason that was not the real sequence, but that the reason was to tell us the vegetables represent the people of Israel. Oh, yes. And many other people. And the Son of Justice am I, Yahweh, that will appear to illuminate the world. And then fuck off to hell again on the fourth day. On the fourth day, completely. And the fifth day and the sixth day and everything that happens with everything that happens is exactly what has been happening in the quadrant of 1,000 years. So then at the end of the sixth day, he creates man. And man was created. He's the Son of Man. And then he says, now I want you to dominate the beasts and judge them. That's what is still needed, because now the man created cannot dominate the beasts. And we're prophetically speaking, the created man is the Son of Man, is the Mashiach, but he does not have power over the beasts. He has to give the command that says, so judge them and subjugate them and reign over them. That is precisely equal to Daniel chapter 7, when Yahweh gives power, glory, and kingdom unto the Son of Man. Exactly the same thing. So then why did they tell us the story of creation? Only for that. Okay, so then let us go to the question. Could you speak about the Torah? The part where it says that the raped woman has to be married with the rapist? Wow. That already awakens in me a sense to burn this and fuck it off to hell, but I'm going to want to contain myself and answer it in the best way possible. But before that, let's see. Oh, you can't see his eyes here. You have to let me know. What happens with this one? There it is. We're completely pissed off, completely PO'd. So PO'd like when Mexico missed that penalty, kind of like that, so pissed off, completely pissed off. There it is. Come on, Mexico. Arriba, Mexico. Let's go, Mexico. They have to pass because we have to meet with Mexico again. And you who are Argentine understand me, and it's all of you. There's no Mexican listening to me here. None, not a one. There's no Peruvian listening to me either. None. They're all Argentinian. I speak to Argentinians only. I'm sorry. I speak to Argentinians only. There was a friend who I used to love this sign. It says, parking only for Argentinians, and this transmission, it's only for Argentinians. This stream is. That's the way it is. Farewell. I was not sent to the sheep of the other countries. I was sent to the Argentinians. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. Very well. Okay, so moving on. We're all in agreement. Moving on. So now let's see how many likes are there. How many will leave today? I say to Leslie, no, I'm going to speak to them a little softer so they don't leave. No, they leave either way. We've got 235 likes. We don't even get to 300, not even. It would have to be crazy. I mean, 246 likes. Are there 50 more people listening that can give us a like? Let's see if we get there. 1222. Who forgot to give us a like? What Argentinian listening to me forgot to give us a like? I only likes from Argentinians. Italy lost 2-0 before Switzerland in the Euro Cup. Wow. Those Italians are so bad. They used to be good because they would only defend before. And to defend, that's how Italy always played. Lots of defense. And now they lost the defense, and now they don't even have that. They don't even have that. We have to send them some Argentinians to help them out to see if with that they can't even do it. Not even with that. They need more Argentinian. They need like 6-7 Argentinians. But of course, we don't need them in Europe. Okay, did the likes go up, or can we stop all this now? To 66 likes. Wow, we don't even get to 300. What a disaster. Look, you see how for many people this subject, they say this is not for me. I cannot stand it. Who will be able to stand in the day of his coming? Because he is as purifying fire. It's difficult to withstand. He doesn't come to speak to you about the love of Jesus, that Jesus is waiting for you to kneel down to ask for your sins to be forgiven. No, it's a different message, completely different. Who shall stand the day of his coming? It is difficult. I understand that it's difficult. I don't even know why I'm complaining. It's difficult. It's difficult. But oh well. Blessed are they who persevere and get to the end, unto the end, because they shall be glorified. Just like that. I gave you another text. Since whoever writes in the Bible, one of these days I'll write a book. Okay, so let us begin. Deuteronomy 22, and I will read from 13 to 30, and I'll read in whatever version, but this is the one that I liked, in the New Spanish Bible. I'll read in the New Spanish Bible. Diego Cabeza asked, greetings. I found you by chance, and I'm asking, will we live eternally, or is there a lie? Okay, Diego, nothing is by chance. If you found us for something, there's a reason. And if you want to learn, to stay. If you have heard what you've never heard in your life, then stay. If you're Argentinian, stay. And the other thing is, will we live eternally? The whole world will live eternally, or else it makes no sense. Creation makes no sense. The whole world, everyone. And when I say everyone, it's not just the good people, those who obeyed God, those who knelt down. No, everyone. Everyone. Good and evil. But we must, and we will learn under a government of justice like there's never been in this life, to live eternally, because we have a divine essence that Elohim placed in us. And that essence one day will take on life. We are eternal. Now we are in a stage of creation, 6,000 years, but we are finishing that stage, and we will enjoy eternal life, or else nothing makes sense. If you live 60, 100, 10,000, 100,000 years and you die, either way, it's the same way. It is eternal life or nothing, and our life is eternal life. And not about suffering, precisely. Okay, very well. And for the rest, if you liked anything in what you heard, you can watch the previous subjects. It's also in the description of this video in YouTube. You can see the other channels, because they took off our main channel where we had all the videos from back in 2011. They deleted everything due to speaking against the system, and you can go watch it in Odyssey or Rumble, because we've got almost all the videos there. They're very interesting videos to learn. But nothing's by chance. Very well. Deuteronomy 22:13 and on, New Spanish Bible says, and now my anger starts, because these laws are stupid. I can't even start to read. They're stupid. They're the most stupid and unjust laws that I've ever seen in my life. They are machismo laws, misogynist laws, laws that places men over women. They are laws that bring the woman down to the level of an animal. They are laws that are so unjust that it's enough to burn that book and fuck it off to hell. This book has the story which Yahweh wants to tell us in creation, which is prophecy, like I've explained already. And it's got lots of laws. There are good laws, excellent ones, and bad ones, and even worse ones. So then, we cannot take this book as our guide. We have to take out what with our justice we see that is just. And we can make a book outside of it, but we can't say the Torah says and the Torah is my guide. No, the Torah is not my guide. We will make a new Torah. We will make a new book entirely different to this, completely different to this. With the good things of it, what we could care about it, and the rest is dog shit. Now, for now, it is no longer our guide. It cannot be our guide. If one, a man, marries a woman, and after cohabitating, in other words, after having sexual relations with her, he abhors her, he defames her in saying, I have married this woman, And when I came to her, I found her not a maid or virgin. Oh, she was not a holy virgin. The father and the mother of the young woman shall take the proof of her virginity. Let's start with that. Right there is stupid from whatever angle. I cannot believe that a God made this law for me. Moses made it up, and Yahweh said, write whatever you want. Write whatever you want. I'll approve it. Yeah, he approved it, obviously. But I cannot understand the human stupidity that we are waking up from. That it was the one that guided us the whole existence of these 6,000 years. A woman has to show proof of her virginity, and the man doesn't. For example, let's start with that point. And the man doesn't. The man doesn't have to show proof of his virginity in anything. Why? And the woman does? And let's start. What is the proof? The very stupid one of virginity of the woman. And the proof is that on the first night of relations, blood comes out because the hymen is broken, and so then you get a little bit of blood stains there on those sheets, and you have to keep those sheets, and you have to give it to the parents because the parents present the proof. That to give it to the parents, that stained sheet, which is the proof that the man was the one that deflowered her. I'm using that word that is so awful that I found it in a version, or else I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't say it. It is horrible, that word. It's horrible. It's repugnant, that word is. But then the man deflowered her, so then the man is the owner and lord of that flower. This is inconceivable in every aspect. It is enough to burn this Bible, the God who wrote it, and the son of a bitch, Moses, his servant, and for it to never show up. Just with that expression, who does man think to demand that a woman is a virgin? That, first of all, is debatable because in your misogynist mind, oh, I want a virgin. Starting with that, what is it to be a virgin? What is it not to be a virgin? Did you know that many times the woman breaks her own hymen or deflowers her and there's no blood? One, because the Jewish has a very small penis, or maybe because you have a very small one, or because the woman can have broken her hymen going to the bathroom, cleaning herself, or riding a horse. And also, I won't say a bike because there was no bike back then, doing whatever stupid shit, and she breaks her own hymen, and that's it. It's a dog shit little tiny thing like that. It could be like a little cookie. That is how an Argentinian joke it was. Forget about that. It would seem something so fragile to a membrane. Let's say something more clinical. It breaks because with anything, once it's broken, it's broken. It could break with anything. It could break if they use tampon. Well, there was no tampons back then. I mean, a whole quantity of things. But the great stupidity is that you need a proof. What would happen if the girl was actually a virgin and no blood came out? Tell me. Let's start with the problem there. Because there is a stupid law. A law that is unfair that says that you have to have a proof. And if in the proof there was no blood. And the guy would say, you weren't a virgin, you fucking bitch. And maybe she was extremely a virgin. And make that square Jew understand that all he wanted to do was to deflower his wife because it was her servant, his slave. He wanted to feel like the only lord that entered there. The complete, absolute dominator. He wanted to feel like that macho, that like those machos. I want her to be mine and no one else's. And for her to have been mine and for no one to have ever possessed her. And that no one, the whole stupidity is thanks to Yahweh for making us such son of a bitches as men. And that mentality continued on in Argentina. My grandmothers would tell me that after getting married, they had to have a sheet there on the window and on the after the honeymoon. Have you seen that practice in your countries? Well, in Argentina, apparently they're very Jewish then. Those sons of bitches, they would get married. The whole world was looking to see if they were in some room or whatever. On the next day of the honeymoon, the girl or the boy, they had to put up on the window, they had to put the sheet there. You never heard of that. You heard it. It used to be practiced in Argentina. The problem was that if there was no blood, they had to kill a chicken or something. Yeah, because they have to look at it. When you make the law, they would make it the trap to the loophole. If I was a Jewish woman back then, that dog shit time, and I know those rules, and I have some neurons that still work, and whether I'm a virgin or not, then I would have had prepared in some place just something before getting married, that son of a bitch, to have the blood, to have there in a little bag. Yeah, because you can make a man, you deceive him, it's so easy, without any light, and I put the blood there. Oh, look at there. Now you can put it up. Here's the proof and everything. And it she could have been a complete whore and to have shown the proof, yes or no. So then this law, God, is it just to show blood? Well, I mean, this really upsets me. When I start to speak about this, I want to burn it right now. I want to burn this and grab the books that I burnt of Ellen G. White, that I see them as better than this. This is absolute dog shit. And I'm speaking to the Jews, the Messianic, that love the Torah, the stupid, idiot, ignorant fool of Pharmakeia Palacios. And they go like this when they pass on by this book. Burn it, you son of a bitch, burn it. Don't make any worship to that. This is dog shit. So then I'll continue to moan. So then it says, let us continue to read. Let us relax. It says, what does the man said? I've married this woman, and when I've come into her, and there was after having sex with her, I find out that she's not a virgin. The mother and the father of the young maid shall take the proof. Shall take the proof of her virginity. This is a law of the Torah. They shall take it unto the elders of the city in the gates. I mean, so that everyone can see it. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hateth her. And lo, he hath given occasions of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid. And yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. He shows the sheet. And they shall spread, I'm not making anything up, it's all written here. And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. Look. And he puts a river plate flag, give or take. Yeah, the river plate flag. And also the one from Peru, it is a proof that they deflowered her. So then they show those flowers. That would be, we can show any river plate flag, the proof that they deflowered the chickens. Those horrible jersey and their flag also. And the Japanese flag also another proof that they really deflowered the Japanese. Also that the Japanese flag also. Okay, they deflowered us. Here, they deflowered us. That's the way it is. Don't laugh, because that's the way this world is. Oh well. So then, look at the stupidity. The father says, she'll extend the sheet before the elders of the city, and the elders of the city shall stop the husband and punish him, and shall fine him with 100 shekels of silver, and he shall pay the father because of having insulted an Israelite woman. In fact, she shall stay as his wife, and he will not be able to divorce her in his whole life. Now the lady has to stay with him the rest of his existence. He will not be able to let her go, as if the owner is the man and the woman is a slave. A sexual slave. And a slave in every aspect. But she cannot say anything. She has to show the proof whether she was a virgin or not. If this is not nauseous, look, before moving on, Yahweh, of course, take into account that everything is part of the creation. But I have to complain because or else we would not understand. If I don't complain, if I don't show you this, we start to justify. Of course, this is part of creation. That is why Yahweh did it that way. No, we start to justify. And here, I'm not here to justify Yahweh. Here I am to cause every guilt upon Yahweh, or else you don't understand the right of Yom Kippur. I am placing every single guilt upon the head of Yahweh, in the head of Yahweh, and every time I speak, I continue to blame and blame and blame, because that's what I have to do. It is what I have to do, is what I must do, to grab the guilt of the people and place it upon Azazel. So then, this law, pernicious law, that is filthy, completely filthy, has an originator, which is Yahweh. Yahweh lost the opportunity of making a law, a perfect law. To make a law that it could be the model of all the laws for all the societies of the world. Because there was no law in Israel, and there was a penal code made. How beautiful would it have been for Yahweh, with the wisdom that he has, which was not his plan of creation, but I have to blame him either way, or else you won't understand. On the other side, I understand that it's creation, but now, in this point in time, is that I have to blame all the fault upon Yahweh. Yahweh missed out on the golden opportunity of making a righteous law, of saying from here on out, like no other people on the earth, the man and the woman are absolutely equal. A man is not over the woman. Man does not have any dominion over the woman. And to start to make righteous laws, real laws, that could awaken in the people the love for the neighbor, not the punishment for his neighbor. But no, they made this law, which is nauseous, this law, which is filthy, haven't been able to have made a true law, but I understand it's part of the manual of the beast. If they had made a righteous law, then we would not have a beast. We would not have a beast. It would be a different creation, completely different. And it's not the one that he imagined. He imagined 6,000 years of whole disaster, chaos, completely insane, a disaster, until the Son of Man comes and he fixes everything. That's simple as that. I understand that. But it is my job to blame everything upon Yahweh, or else Yom Kippur would not be fulfilled. Do you understand that? Every fault of the people had to be placed upon the head of Yahweh. And that is what I've been doing during a long time. And every fault, everything that happens on the earth, even that my toe hurts, which it doesn't, but just to give you an example, is Yahweh's to blame. Everything Yahweh's to blame. If I have planted some watermelon in the back with Angelina, it was so difficult, and some melons, and now one a day disappears that I don't even know who eats them, because they disappear with as if the earth swallowed it, didn't leave anything, not even anything left. I'm trying to see who the fuck eats an entire watermelon plant. They don't leave anything behind. And the other day, another plant, they just leave a hole there. So then who is to blame? Yahweh. Every time I get a thumb in my hands, and this week I got many of them, whom am I going to insult? Yahweh? No one else but Yahweh. When a plant dries up because the earth needs something that I don't know about, the one to blame is not me, but Yahweh. If the world has received, I'm going to say the word vaccination entirely. Who vaccinated them? Yahweh. Everything is of Yahweh. If we haven't learned, at least in my case, you can do whatever the fuck you want, but me. If I don't blame Yahweh for everything, then I have not started to fulfill the rite of Yom Kippur. That Yahweh is to blame for everything, all the sins of the people upon Azazel. It's all, he is to blame. It has to go back to him, everything. So then, if you don't agree with my words, Of course you can leave. Okay, moving on. With the stupidity. What happens then if the girl does not show the tokens of blood? You know that it was her life. If she couldn't show a sheet with blood, what would happen? Okay. But if the accusation was true, if the young woman was not a virgin, okay, I'm sweating. They shall take the young maid unto the father's house, and the men of the city, the machos, shall stone her until she die, due to have committed folly in Israel, to play the whore in her father's house. So shalt thou put evil away from among you. That is the evil? Wow. I mean, it would almost be, it's like I'm watching a cheap movie, a cheap flick of ignorant fools with laws that are absolutely ancient and unexplainable. A young girl that's not a virgin pays for her sin with her life, stoned to death in the house of the father, and that is the evil in Israel. Wow, I cannot conceive not even what I'm reading. I think the Christians read this and they just look over it and they just play deaf ears and they don't want to read it. He's righteous, he's righteous, he's righteous. This is talking about the worst injustices that I've heard of in my life. Sex with sin has nothing to do. I'll say it again. Sex with sin or evil, because sin is to violate the law. Evil, it has nothing to do with it. Sex is a necessity that the Creator placed in us, just like all the animals have, in which it must be used. It must be used. If you are against that natural law, not of the Torah, you'll have a whole quantity of problems. That is why all the sexual problems that my dad must have had, my uncles, my grandparents, ultra religious. The prostate pays for it, obviously. At 45, 50, a prostate that's inflamed, a whole bunch of sexual conflicts. But God must be laughing his ass off. He must be laughing his ass off, because my dad, I can believe it, I tell it to you right now, he had desires that he did not take into effect, or things that he had to repress. Who even knows? I'm not even going to get into that. But the prostate shows it to you at that age. I'm not talking about a prostate at 60, 65, 70, when we're older, dog shit, old men, and everything gets bigger. The ears start to grow. My ears are absolutely spectacular and precious, proportionate, in every aspect beautiful. But they were smaller before, and I get upset when I look into the mirror and they're larger. I've always had spectacular ears that were envious. People would be envious to have them, beautiful, divine, but they start to grow. I mean, it's just an example that I'm giving. Leslie looks at me and says, "Shut up." They start to grow. But it's just that mine are so beautiful that, look how I would, what if I had the ears like this, out like this? What if I were to speak to you like this? I would look like Topollillo. No, you can't see it? What do you call the green man? Yoda. Yoda ears. But then the ears start to grow. Stupidly so. Oh, don't even speak about Luis Maria. The ears of Di Maria. Well, when you get to 70 years, the ears, it's like this big. And why does everything grow? Because God says, you're going to be ugly like a son of a bitch. You're going to look into the mirror and you will want to die. And it's the truth. It's the truth. Because we become ugly. Thanks to whom? We already know that the one to blame, that we're dying today, that we just lost another day today, is Yahweh. He is to blame for it every day. Instead of thanking him for his life, we would have to say, thank you, and I know you're killing me. I know you're killing me. The one to blame is him. If you do not understand that, that's why no one can fulfill this right, except for the Elohim of justice. He understands it very, very clearly. Very clearly. It has to be all upon him. We could say, oh, some guilt could be upon man, but I'll leave a little bit of guilt for these sons of bitches, because they're really evil. They deserve it. They deserve it. They're evil. They're evil. Almost as evil as the Mexicans when they try to make a penalty. It's almost as bad as them. They're bad. So I have to grab that. I'm not gonna blame everything on Yahweh. Not everything. I'm gonna make it almost all of it, but a little bit nothing. The Elohim of justice says every sin, everything that is to blame is placed upon Azazel. Everything, absolutely everything. Or else there's no way to cleanse the sons of men. There isn't. Do you understand that? So then you're going to get tired to hearing me, at least on my behalf, that everything to blame, everything in your life, your husband, your wife, your children, your bad attitude, everything, Yahweh's to blame. Don't look for anyone else to blame. It's Yahweh. That you were raped, that you were mistreated, that you were abused, that your life died, Yahweh's to blame. That we have terrible pain because of some loved one dies, Yahweh's to blame. That they were almost having us to get vaxxed, Yahweh's to blame. Yahweh's to blame. No one else's. What else? And we say, Yahweh, protect us from you. Yahweh, stop attacking us. I'm going to go out and don't fuck with me. Right? Tell the truth. There's been a long time, years already, that I've stopped praying, going out in the car. Before, I used to get into the car with Leslie and a prayer, always. Then I said, no. Why do I have to ask him to take care of me? I want him to kill me. Because, of course, in the mind you have to ask, in case you have an accident, you didn't pray. Did you pray? First of all, did you pray? Yeah, see, that's why you had the accident. You see, you should have prayed. You should have gone and said, Father, in your... No, nothing. None of that. No, I want it backwards. I'm going to go out. Father, don't kill me. Because if something happens, you're to blame. It's your fault. We already know. Anything that could happen is your fault. So then today, loosen up a bit, okay? Don't fuck with me. Don't break my balls. You know when the husband says, hey, don't fuck with me. I can't hear you today. What if the wife would have to tell the husband, please to take care of me, protect me? No, don't fuck with me. Stop. Don't break my balls. Don't fuck with me. Do not break my balls and make my life impossible. Of course, it's a different philosophy of understanding things. There are Christians listening to me, someone complaining, and then saying, I can't believe what I'm listening to. No, there's no contraries today, no counters, and those that are in favor, even they are leaving. I don't understand how they're leaving. They're leaving? Wow, I mean, incredibly, they don't want to listen to what they're listening to. It turns it out to them that it's something terrible for me to blame Elohim. I mean, that's the truth. They kind of feel afraid. How can we blame the Creator if we're to blame? It's mea culpa. Mea culpa. No, it's not mea culpa. How could we say it is you're to blame in Latin? El culpa? It is you're to blame, not my culpa. You're to blame, Yahweh. Okay, moving on with this marvelous law. So then it says that if the young maid does not achieve by any situation or not even enough blood, just a little bit, and she couldn't stain the sheet, and she says, I was a virgin, I didn't, let's stone her. Stone her. Who could save her from that situation? I mean, not even the parrot could save her. Not even the parrot, because a young girl, even if she's a virgin, she couldn't show the proof because no blood came out, or because it had broken before the hymen has, and she had bled before. Did you know the mental charge that is for a girl in that time to take care of her hymen with complete care for it not to break, to have the chance for some animal to come around, an Israelite husband, which are animals either way, so that he could use his whole life like a rag, but to be satisfied showing him that she was a virgin. While poor girl, I can imagine when the Messiah will come and liberate that woman, they're going to want to kill many husbands, and they'll want to divorce them, because when the Messiah comes, he's going to proclaim freedom from everything, from the beliefs And if the husband you have you don't like, or the wife you have you don't like him and made you suffer your whole life, the Messiah, the last thing he'll say is, no, now you have to stand and stay with them. I'll give you eternal life, that you have eternal life married with the one that you don't love. No, of course not. Absolutely not. The liberation is absolute and entire and whole of every law. And the matrimony is a law, and it'll be freed, because maybe in your mind you say, no, it'll be freed of all the laws except for that one. No. Because most of the couples, I'm talking about ancient times. Maybe in your case, I could care less, but most of the couples don't love each other, and the Messiah doesn't come to teach them to love themselves. He's not a Cupid. Oh, you don't love each other? Let me shoot you with the love so that you can love each other. No, absolutely not. No, it's not magic here. And aside from that, if there was a couple that there been abuse, I'm talking about back in the day of this time, and what continues afterwards, doesn't want to live with the husband anymore. When a woman understands that she was just like the husband, and that she lived submitted to a terrible law that's completely unjust, given by a God that's terribly unjust. Do you know the hate? They'll go through this stage, right? But the hate, because the hate has to be born first to what was believed, in order to later understand a reason of why, to solve the hate, and for it to be left in a level of tranquility. But it has to go through a storm, so as to, for one, everyone that has inherited lies from their fathers, which is everyone, will go through a great storm. That is what a purifying hell would be, and they'll go through the storm of waking up to the reality of seeing that they have been deceived, seeing that they have been abused, seeing that the God they worshipped wasn't that, or that was not the image. And they have to understand what the Creator God was, and to understand the whole history, and to have withstood some guy, and to see the injustices upon her over all her life. You think she'll develop love for that guy? And now we're going to say, now let's get back together and it'll be happy. No. What if it says, I don't want to be with this guy anymore? No, even if it's a good guy, and I don't want to be with him anymore. That is complete liberation. And that is what the Mashiach calls, to liberate the world. Not that they are entangled with everything. So then, to take the stupidity from a man says, I want a virgin woman. Virgin, why? I'll tell you only one word. Dominion. It's dominion. He doesn't want another to have dominated her. He doesn't want for another that it would appear to him that it's insanity for her. In fact, that if he could get a woman that has never even seen a man in her life, even better. Because if a man can imagine that type of man, that is, if they can imagine that type of man, that woman loved another man, even if she didn't have sex. Wow. And that must hurt to the soul, because she loved another man that was not him. Because that macho wants to be everything in the life of that woman, but not everything that's good, but all the dominator that he can be. To submit her, subjugate her, that I am the only owner, and if I love you also, I crush you and I kill you. That is the mentality of these machista people, these machista men. For a man to be, oh, you weren't a virgin? Go fuck yourself. The woman should have said, no, I'm not a virgin. Absolutely. And it's better that you have offered good sex, because I know what good sex is. And if you don't satisfy me, I'm going to tell you to fuck off. That is what should have been written here. Husbands, satisfy sexually your women, or else you don't have the right. No, you don't have the right. Oh, how's going to put that into the Torah? That's what it should be done. That's what it should be done. Because if a guy, he goes into a storage and they give you rotten things, expensive things, so they don't have any, then you have the right to go to a different storage to buy, to another storage, another store. No, in matrimony, you got married, you'll stay there and risk. No, I'm against that. I'm against all that. Absolutely, I want complete liberation for the human race in every aspect. I don't care what you understand or not. Someday you'll understand it better. Okay, moving on with this law. This is insanity. The non-virgin girl to die. What does a person that's intelligent do? to put a little bit of blood there. In Argentina, it's been done. I'm not making anything up. So the law given by Yahweh, Moses, approved by Yahweh, that you could be deceived. There was no DNA test or anything. Just a little bit of blood, and that's it. Let's suppose that a woman that had sex with so many men, not a one, but with many, would marry one, and she would act like the virgin. She would act the virgin, and she marries some guy. Of course, she was going to have, how was the mother of Jacob Rachel? Rachel? No, not Rachel. No, that Jacob. Rebecca's the mother. Rebecca is Jacob's mother. If Rebecca, Jacob's mother, was so smart to deceive the poor blind man, that she had says, "Come, let's kill a little goat, and we're gonna put here on your arms." I mean, the deceit was there. So then the girl could deceive perfectly with a proof with just some chicken's blood. Of course, if they deceived Jacob, and it wasn't just one little test, one little piece of proof. It was lots more evidence to show a little bit of blood. If you had a blood from Japan, and it would be good enough. That would be good enough. So if they killed you because you were an idiot, let's start with that. With these stupid laws, if the law is made, the trap is made. Very well. But Yahweh says, and that is how thou shalt put away the evil from you. What evil? What evil, Yahweh? Having sex, the girl have sex because they're hot and they need sex, and that you placed in their mind a complete need in the hormones. Is that that which they call heat? You call heat people with fever, but heat. When you say I have heat, Leslie and I laugh. We have okay. Then go home. If it says I'm heated, oh, then go home. Then it is not fever. I'll correct all those who speak incorrectly, because you Argentinians. When you have fever, it says I have fever. I have a high temperature, but not that I am in heat. I have a high temperature, you could say, yes, but not that I'm in heat. To be in heat is to be hot, like this, hot. Okay. I'm telling you because I'm making you Argentinians. Very well. Just imagine, I could imagine one of you in Buenos Aires and says, oh, I'm in heat. I'm in heat. They're going to try to get the heat out of you. Okay. 22. Oh, and if I'm hot, the same thing. And for us to be that I'm hot, doesn't mean that to be I'm hot is that I'm upset, mind you. In that aspect, I'm super hot. But also, if it's a couple speaking, but it's the way it is. Exactly. Well, let's go to another law. If they find one laying with another man's woman, if they find one lying with another man's wife, both should be put to death. The one who laid with her and the woman. And that is how you should put away the evil from thee. Well, with these types of laws, not only would they put away the evil, but they would make evil. Because if they find somebody with somebody else's woman, a man's found with another man's wife, the only thing they have to do if they want, is that they can divorce themselves, get separated. If they consider it necessary, they would deal with it, but no physical harm or punishment or lashes or jail, and even less, death. But it says they have to die. The law starts off very badly. If you see that it says, I want you to understand the stupid laws. It says, I'll read it again. If a man be found, the thing is, if they find you, what if they don't find you? What about a true law? A true law should say, Do not lay with another man's wife. For example, that is a more acceptable law. But if the law starts, if you are found, then you're fucked. But as long as you're not found, nothing happens. So then if you're going to do it well and don't get caught, you idiot. So then be careful to not get caught, because if we catch you, then this is what happens. So then this dog shit law is actually horrible in every aspect. And to end up fucking it up, it says, and that is how you shall put away the evil from thee, as if that was the evil. As if that was the evil. Moving on. If one finds a damsel that is betrothed unto another man, and he lays with her, so then if you find, I mean, how is this? Is there rape? What is there here? What do you mean that if you find a girl and you rape her? If you find a damsel that is betrothed unto another man and he lay with her, which did she want to or not? I want you to explain that to me. Then you shall bring them both out into the gate of that city, and you shall stone them to death. The damsel, because she cried out being in the city. She cried not being in the city, and the man because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife. What is the problem of the man here? I want you to understand something very special. What is the sin that condemns this man? Because he raped another man's wife, not because he raped a woman. The thing here is that condemns him to death is because it was of another, she belonged to another man. The only ones that have anything worth are the men, because you took someone else's possession, and there was no possession, then nothing happens. If she's not betrothed unto another man, then whomever, just whomever. I don't want to give examples. Just and when you have a daughter or son, or a daughter, in this case, some guy, whomever, to some guy, whomever. I don't want to give names because it becomes so nasty. Let's suppose Carlota. Nobody's name is Carlota. Carlota comes along. Carlota is a nice young girl. She doesn't hurt a fly. Lives at home. And Pepito comes along. Pepito comes along, just whomever. He looks at her and says, is she betrothed? No, not that I know. No, she doesn't even have a boyfriend. I mean, she's not even going to listen to me. One, because I'm Salvadorian, I'm Pepito. And this Carlota is from a different nationality. She's not even going to look at me. Won't give me the time of day. How do I get her according to the Jewish law? I come with the Torah. Because Pepito comes with the Torah. Pepito is a son of a bitch. He comes with the Torah. How do I get her? Because God is on my side with the laws. Oh, she's not engaged or anything? No. Oh, okay. I'm a follower of the Torah. So then what I have to do, I'll just violate her. And if I violate her, since I have not violated anyone's property, violate a woman, nothing happens in the Bible. Nothing. The thing is that you're violating another man's property. There you do get into big problems. If she doesn't belong to anyone, then violate her. Just violate her. Wait, you'll take her for you. What's the punishment? Then you have to stay with her and you just can never divorce her. Oh, well, then to start to violate left and right. I have to convince her. I go and violate her and take her and fuck it. That's what the Torah is. That's what the Torah, when I say it as dog shit, it is dog shit in every aspect. Absolute, without any, absolutely, a complete dog shit. I don't care that it says Shemah Israel. I could care less that it says thou shalt not kill. I could care less that it says you shall have no other God. I could care less that it says anything. When it has laws like that, I'll grab that whole dog shit, and it is an actual dog shit. Like Paul of Tarsus said, I'll grab the whole Torah, and now be as dung to me. He said, it's dog shit. Paul said, it is as dung to me. He says, it's dog shit. Paul is right. It's the most thing where he was right. One that dared the most. You know why he dared? Because Paul was a Pharisee. Paul wasn't going to be going around the bush like the idiots, the fishermen. Of course, the fishermen didn't even understand anything, but Paul who knew the Torah, he said, if I follow this man, I have to throw the Torah into the garbage can. Let's throw away the Torah. It's dung to me. That's it. and made his own Torah. And I applaud Paul like that. That's fine for me. Paul's the best of them all. He has his mistakes. He makes mistakes, and I laugh at him all the time. Doesn't matter. But before the fisherman and Paul, I'll stay Paul. I'll repeat it again. Between the fishermen, that you shouldn't even call them disciples. The disciples are Paul. I'll stay Paul because Paul had the balls to say, this is as dung to me. And he didn't say it that way. This is dog shit, he said. And it is dog shit, he said. If I have to raise this again, then I'll have to destroy Christ. That's what he said. So then, in order to be able to believe in a Christ, then this, fuck it off to hell. It was as simple as that, what Paul said. Very simple. More than clear. Very clear. But we'll move on here with the laws. So then it says, if ye shall find a man lying with another man's wife, then both shall die. Because he laid with her, and the woman, and that is how you shall put away the evil from thee. If you find a woman that is betrothed unto another man, complete misogynism, the women belong to their property. It says, you shall not covet the woman of thy neighbor. There are no commandments for the women at all in the Torah. The Adventist women love the Ten Commandments. They weren't written for you. They were written for men. Completely. It speaks to men, not to the women. The women are not there. It doesn't say, then you shall not covet a husband, another woman's husband. You can covet. I'm going to say something stupid here. Not you, but the Adventists. Adventist women, you can covet your neighbor's husband because the law doesn't say you shall not covet your girlfriend's husband. No, not that. It's speaking to men only. Okay, let me clarify that because they sum it up. You shall not covet. No, you should not covet your neighbor's wife. That's what it says. So then I'm not speaking to you. If one of you want me to speak to you, Adventist women, then here it is. It is me. It is I. Okay, moving on. Moving on. The young maiden because she did not ask for help within the people, and the man because he violated his neighbor's wife. That's the problem, his neighbor's wife. Not because he violated her. There's no problem with violating that. Nothing happens with that. Nothing happens. God allows it, and that's it. And incentivizes it. Because he tells you what you get if you violate her. The problem is to violate another man's wife, of his neighbor. And that is how you shall get rid of the evil from within thee. There are so many problems within this, aside from all the dog shit that it is, and I just don't have enough words for it. A woman, there cannot be, could have not have asked for help because the man was stronger than him and covered her mouth. We're talking about that the women, the ready to have sex, are not the ones from now. They were the ones from 12 and on. They were little girls. When they talk about the little damsels, they're talking about little girls. So then some guy covers her mouth, puts a sock in her mouth, and how could she yell? And so then, oh yeah, we couldn't hear you yelling, little girl. You're dead. Off with her because it was someone else's. We couldn't hear your yelling. So then what happens if the girl, she was betrothed with someone else or engaged or whatever, and she was paralyzed because of shock? They don't contemplate the shocks that we have learned of what the DHSs are. What if within the shock of some guy that comes along and she was paralyzed, she didn't know what to do, she was mute. Oh, the Torah doesn't care about that. You didn't yell. And if you yelled, maybe it was out of pleasure, but you didn't yell as to ask for help. You didn't ask for help, then off with your head or stone her. That's the Torah that the Adventists want to raise, the Messianics want to raise up. What sons of bitches, really? No. But I would make it live in their lives laws under this to see what they defend. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Moving on. She did not cry out for help, and the men due to have violated his neighbor's wife. So thou shalt put away the evil from among you. They killed both of them, not because of the violation, but because he violated his neighbor's wife. And the other one because she didn't ask for help. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, like in a place where there's not many houses, and you couldn't hear anything, it was out in the field, and the man found the woman that was betrothed. She was, gathering some flowers or some watermelons. Who knows? She was walking her dog or having the camels drink water, and some guy comes along, this Salvadorian guy that I tell you, Pepito. Not because of the Salvadorians, mind you, none whatsoever. Okay, I'm saying because of Pepito specifically. I don't want anybody else to get offended. And aside, no Salvadorian. And listening to me here, it's all Argentinians, by the way. That's first of all. I don't have any Guatemalans. How good is it to have a public that is all Argentinian? That is impressive. That is, and from Boca, not just Argentinian. We're all from Bosteros. We're all from Boca. It's incredible. It is incredible. Aguante Argentina. Aguante Boca. Aguante LV. Let's go Boca. Let's go Argentina. Let's go LV. There's no chickens here. There's nothing else. No nationalities. Or else let's start stoning them. So then it says. So then it says. But if it were in a field where the man found this damsel that was engaged, forced her, and did lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him. Okay, listen well to this. Okay, maybe you didn't understand. The woman has to be engaged to somebody. If the woman was not engaged, now it'll explain what happens. So then if a man would violate a woman in a city, and she was engaged to somebody, and the woman did not yell, then both would die. If it was in a field, but she was engaged with some guy, that's what made it penalty of death. No matter if she would yell or not, they wouldn't ask her either way, because even if she would yell, there was nobody to listen to her or hear her. She would not die, but the guy would die. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, then here at this possibility, because these laws are the most stupid that I've seen in my life. I can't believe, these laws did not come out of the mind of God. They came out of Moses' mind, and God said, yeah, write whatever you want. Write it. Go ahead. I need a dog shit manual for the beast. Okay, go ahead. Moses says, I think what is right, and maybe Moses got together and Aaron and his father-in-law, I don't know, who knows. He says, what do you think, Aaron? Yeah, I think that's okay. Okay, what would you do? Well, you'd have to kill him. It was all men, maybe the 70 men got together. This doesn't come from the mind of God. I refuse to believe that it comes from the mind of God because it's stupid. What were to happen if the woman, if I were a lawyer, it'd be very brilliant. But I didn't study laws. It was not necessary because I became the absolute lawyer of all humanity, not of a court of justice. It was the most brilliant of them all, evidently. So then Elohim says, no, don't go that way because you're going to have way too much money and you're not going to want to listen to me. Come this way. I'll make you the most brilliant lawyer of them all. And to top it off, you're going to make a court for me and you're going to blame me for it all. And to top it off, you're going to win the case. And to top it off, I'm going to sit you on a throne. No. That'll be your end. Okay, look at this. There's a woman that is engaged in the field, and she finds a man, and she's very hot, this woman is, and she wants to have sex with him, and she seduces him because she called him, some guy walking, she says, hey, come here, Pepito. Hey, are you Pepito? Yeah, come here. Sing me a song, and then please do me the favor. And Pepito comes along and sings, and they have sex, and then people come and they find her. Do you know what this woman would do? I yelled. This guy violated me. She, who provoked him, no matter what the man says, the man, since that woman was engaged to another, she sinned against the other man. You got to sin. Kill him. And the woman is left free. Do you understand this case? When in reality, this is all backwards when the woman tempted Pepito to lay with her. But since they were in a place where she knew, in fact, she used to go to that place to look for guys. She knew that if some guy would pass by and they would find her, she would just yell, oh no, he violated me, I cannot yell. Could there be that case or not? So then this law is what? It's completely stupid, absolutely stupid. Just like the one who wrote it and what follows. and those that follow it. Moving on. That is why I'll read this again. It says, but if it were in a field where the man found this woman engaged, a woman engaged, he forced her and did lie with her, the man should only die who lay with her. So then what happens with a woman that is horny in that time? Where does she go? To the field, exactly. I mean, I'll train the girls of that time. Listen to me well. When you get married, always have blood ready in a little bag to ready. I mean, you're not, since you already know, you're not going to get married all of a sudden. You have to keep it away in a place in your clothing. You know where to keep it. Use your intelligence. I'll give you more lessons, but the blood you have to have with you. And use it in the moment of having sex. Where could you keep it? Because maybe in your mind, kind of stupid. Oh, but there was no plastic. Oh, yeah. There. They would use, back in that time, they would use as a condom, they would use the gut or the tripe. The tripe, you know how the tripe is? That is what they would use as a condom. Just imagine. So then a little bit of tripe, you tie it together, you make a little bag right there, and you have it ready to use whenever you want. So then right there, it's perfect. You have it ready, you have blood, that's it, it's over. You have blood ready. What else, girls? Oh yeah, another lesson for the girls, the Jewish girls of that time. If you want to have sex with some guy, whomever, go to the field. Don't do it in the city, because right there, you wouldn't be able to. Brian is like, yes, that's how I'm explaining like a lawyer what they have to do to avoid the law. Go to the field, and there you can fuck whomever you want. In fact, if they catch you, the man pays, not you. Okay, so then, moving on. Moving on here. Did I lose the whole world, or are still people left? People left still? Listening to me? Okay. Maybe the Jewish girls of that time would have heard me, but okay, you listen to me. Okay, 27. For he found her, well, and you would not kill her, because it's like if a man raised it up against another man and slayed him. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, but nobody could save her. I mean, who knows if she cried? Where's the proof that she cried? She cried out. It says I was yelling the whole time. The whole time I was crying out. For if a man find a damsel that is a virgin, here's the question: if a man find a damsel that is virgin, grabs her and lays with her, in other words, he violates her, and they are caught in the act, the man that did lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver. And we criticize the Jews because they can pay for indulgences. Look at who invented the indulgences. How much is it for the violation? 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he had humbled her. So then what is the best way in that time of grabbing a wife? To declare to her, no, you have to violate her. It's the best way. It's the most direct way, the best way. Or else, if she's not going to even look at you, you go and violate her. You'll have to accept her as a woman, because he violated her. He may not put her away in all his days. And what does the woman think about this? Do they take into account what the woman thinks? No. They only take into account whether she yells or not, if she cries out for help or not, and where she is. The rest, she has no possession of the husband. The husband possesses her. And since he possesses her, he owns her. He can own another and another and another. However many he can pay for. This is the Torah. This is what the Torah is, sirs. And since the Torah is all the Tanakh, mind you, not just the Torah, it's the entire Tanakh. And how's the Tanakh? It is the entire book, mind you. It is everything. We'll start with this, and we move on with the rest of the book entirely. With the entire book entirely. That's the way it is. It is just like that. So then, what does the man do? Well, he'll give 50 shekels of silver unto the father of the girl, and he will have to accept her as his wife, since he violated her. It is very clear. Humbled her, violated her. He may not put her away in all his days. A man shall not take his father's wife. This is a different one. This is already a different case. Who wrote this? Yahweh? No. This could not have been. Yahweh says things that are more intelligent than this. this came out of the mind of Moses and the 70, or the ones that were there. That is what I'm sure of. Because no, Moses was not writing the Torah up there. I mean, he wrote the 10 commandments, the 10 words, and then broke them later. Elohim said, no, I'm not going to write them again. You write them now. And there, I don't know what he wrote after that, because the true words that Yahweh wrote, those, he broke them. Or did he not? He broke them. So then whatever he wrote, that I do not know. It's already a copy. It is a cheap copy that Moses thought of, but that's not the Torah. The Torah was written later. So then he was going to go talk to God to write the Torah. No, it's whatever Moses would want to write. That's the way it is. Whether you like to understand it or not. 30. A man shall not take his father's wife, nor discover his father's skirt. For what reason have they wrote this? Tell you the truth, I cannot explain this. But to make it a law? To make it a law? And when this took place, right in the bosom of Israel, in other words, Jacob and his son, who was it, Reuben? One of those it was. I think it was Reuben, who had sex with one of the four, not his own mother, as one of the other four. In the end of it all, nothing happened. The guy says, I know you got into my... When Jacob dies, he tells Reuben something. What does he tell Reuben? Let's read it. Let us go to... Let us go to Genesis. Genesis 48. Genesis 48. And it speaks, no, it's 49, 3, and it says, Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity and the excellency of power, unstable as water. Thou shalt not excel, because thou wantest up to thy father's bed. Then defilest thou it. He went up to my couch. So then Reuben, who was the main one, he took him out from being the main one, because Reuben did lay with one of Jacob's wives. What a beautiful family. What a beautiful family. So then they made a law, no one shall take his father's wife, nor uncover what is of his father. These are laws that are absolutely with no sense whatsoever. It's okay. I have nothing against this law. I have nothing against the law because there's not even a penalty. It has not under penalty till death. It just says don't do this, don't do that. It's an advice, and I'll take it, and it's fine. It's a good advice. But the other ones, wow, the other ones is something brutal. What is against the woman, against the virginity? How they value virginity? What is overvalued virginity, and what is overvalued in the machismo in human beings. It is disgusting. The Torah, with its laws, it's disgusting. That is why. Does it have good things? Yes, it does. The good things, I'll take them from there. But I don't say I follow the Torah, because I don't follow the Torah. I follow my Torah, which is very different. Because if I say I follow the Torah, I have to accept this. I have to accept all of it, or I eliminate all. What do? We eliminate it all. And when it's eliminated over power, over lives, it will say, this is good. Because tell the truth, I understand that Yahweh was one alone. I'll take that from there. But the Torah is not my guide. No, I take the good things that the Torah has. Because it has real things. It has true things. I'll take it from there. But I do not say that the Torah is my guide. No, the Torah is not my guide. My Torah is my guide. Do you understand what I'm trying to say or not? Yes? Okay. And it's already been 2 hours and a half. I'm going to leave you. You know why I'm going to leave you? Because, first of all, I've taught you a lot already. Let's see. Okay, one more. Let me answer just one more. Well, I can't believe that I've been speaking to you for 2 hours and a half. It's incredibly interesting, incredibly speaking, and then you don't support either way, and I am incredibly hungry because we're going to eat like good Argentinians, you already know, and I want you to answer just like all the Argentinians that you are. What do you eat on the 29th day? It has to be on the 29th day of the Gregorian calendar because it's not in the Gregorian in that of Yahweh. No, this tradition is in the Gregorian calendar. What do you eat on the 29th day? I want you to write there, the Argentinians. What do you eat on the 29th day? And I want to know how many of you Argentinians respected the tradition. Because here, I'm here to teach certain fun traditions, of course. I want to know how many Argentinians, which should be all of it because I only speak to Argentinians. Today you ate gnocchis because, or else I am failing as an instructor, or you as Argentinians. If you ate tacos, you did not follow the tradition. You have betrayed the tradition. If you ate pizza, you betrayed the tradition. So then what you have to do is at least today, the 29th, whatever it might be, even if the sun went down already, because in the Gregorian calendar, the 29th goes up until midnight. So then you go and you make yourselves some fucking gnocchis, even if it's 2 and 3, to say, okay, the tradition until it starts to record itself in your mind, the tradition, until you say, oh, today the 29th, we eat gnocchis, especially on the Shabbat. So then, all of you who dared and remembered and ate gnocchis, I want to congratulate a great big hug to all those who remember to eat gnocchis. Also, those who will eat gnocchis, although you ate other things, but they said, now I'm going to make gnocchis, I congratulate you. You don't need to go and buy yourself anything. You have a potato, just boil it. Just like that. You have one potato, boil it. At least one. To teach you to make a little bit, just a little bit. You grab a potato and peel it. Okay, don't peel it. Yeah, don't peel it. That way, yeah, don't peel it. Just put it whole like that without cutting it up. I'm teaching you a little bit. Without cutting it up, just boil it. Once the potato has boiled, and it's not so completely cooked, let's say 20 minutes, half hour, it's cooked, you put a fork into the potato, you're boiling it, you put a knife or something, and it enters. You don't need it to be extremely cooked. No, not yet. Just kind of soft. There, you turn it off. You turn off the heat, take the potato out, take it out of the water, and there you peel it. Already out of the water, you peel it. So then you have a potato that didn't drink up way too much water. So then you grab the fork or whatever, and you smash it. Kind of a brutish mashed potatoes, kind of brutish. Yeah, they just smash it. Okay, that potato you're gonna add. Of course, I'm talking about one potato. Okay. And you have to have egg for sure. First, I want them to add egg. The thing is that one potato with egg, I think it's 3 potatoes per egg. That's what I'm saying. It'd be half an egg. Get an egg, cut it in half, and grab half an egg. I think the proportion would be, try this proportion, 3 potatoes to 1 egg. I'll give you those proportions. Instead of just 1 potato, grab 3 potatoes. 3 potatoes, boil them with the peel. You take it out, you peel it, and then you smash it, and then add a raw egg. Okay, not a fried egg. Okay, I know you're capable because you're idiots. Okay, just a raw egg, and then put it into the mashed potatoes, and that mashed potato, mix it in. And first of all, before adding the flour or anything, add a little bit of nutmeg. Just a little bit, okay? Don't overdo it. Just a little bit of nutmeg. The necessary salt. If you don't have any, go and look. You have to have it. Every Argentinian have to have nutmeg and pepper. Right, of course. If you don't have nutmeg, then of course. We're talking about making it like that. Okay. Or else add a little bit of pepper or whatever. So then you grab those 3 mashed potatoes with the egg and with the salt and taste it. You're not gonna any fucking salmonella or anything like that or anything because of the raw egg. Okay, you won't get that, but just taste it a little bit and see how the salt is. I have to have some good salt. It's good. Okay, then grab some flour. The flour, I don't want under any aspect that you just throw the flour in there and you just knead it. No, you're not going to make a bread. All you want to do is to mix that. So then you grab some flour. You put a little bit, just a little bit, just a pinch of flour, and you start to add it. I don't want for you to knead it. No, you have to mix it softly, with tenderness, with love. You mix it so as to not mash it like this. It's just a little mixture. You don't have to mix it way too much. Just to make a little dough. I'd say for the 3 potatoes, a good pinch of flour would be just 1 cup of flour, I would say. Maximum, 1 cup of flour maximum. And that, afterwards, you grab that little dough, you make some little rolls like this, like a little chorizo like this, and this thick, in the thickness that you already know, just tiny like that thickness, just kind of like your finger like this, tiny like this. The thickness that you're used to, let's say, that kind of like that, and you cut that off in little pieces like that, and every little piece like that, cut up like that. You grab a fork, and you press it like this with the fork, and you get some spectacular gnocchis that you won't be able to believe. Just like that, you won't be able to believe. No, don't eat it that way. Right, don't eat it like that. Right, you boil some water, you pour it like that, and as soon as the gnocchi floats, it's ready. Don't wait 10 minutes, no. The gnocchi elevates to the surface, and you take it out with kind of like tongs or whatever you want to call it, and you put it aside on somewhere where you have some sauce on a plate, so then everybody ready to eat gnocchis, go off and to eat gnocchis. And with this, I also don't have time. Yeah, but I just gave him the best of them all, but you can look it up on YouTube how to make gnocchis. Exactly, how to make gnocchis. Spectacular. I've already given you the spectacular technique, so then you only have to look to make it a little better, and that's it. You make some gnocchis. It's so easy to make them. It's really so easy. So then, since Leslie and Brian translated these lyrics, I'm going to read them too because I love them this week. Beast and Black came out, that group, which is one of the groups that we like. It's phenomenal. There was a song that's called Power of the Beast. The Power of the Beast. And I loved it, and I'm going to share it with you because it has a lot more value than any part of the Torah that has those stupid laws. This has a lot more sense and logic than the idiotic laws that I just mentioned in the Torah. In English, I don't have it here. I like to read it always in the original. First of all, because I pronounce it so spectacularly in English. That's first of all. Second of all, Leslie, do you have the lyrics somewhere or other? I was trying to say, oh yes. I don't know if it's this here. Oh, here, I have them right here. I have them right here. Yes, that's it here. No, I have them right here. In English, it says, the silence of a tortured heart is telling you to start, to fight the monsters that hurt you in the dark. These monsters are the religions, all that programming, the lies that hurt you in the dark. They fear the fire, and you are the spark. What a spectacular poem this is. Of course, those demons fear the light, the fire. The entire Torah fears that somebody comes and exposes it ridiculously like I do. They prefer people that see the Torah and they bow down and say, the Word of God, the righteous one, it's the holy law. The law of freedom, as Jacob says, this atomic fisherman, idiot. What does Jacob says of the Torah? The law of liberty, of freedom. Freedom of what? To violate? He forgot to say that it's the law of the freedom to violate women. Okay, moving on. In English, it says, power of the beast is all you need. But of course, I need the power of the beast. And who's the beast? The first beast, the greatest one there is called Yahweh. The second beast, the greatest one that is he gave the power to is Babylon. So then I need that power which Yahweh gave to Babylon. We all need it. That power, there's a reason why they rule, they dominate. There's a reason why they're Babylon. Because they have a power that Yahweh says, and power was given them. Okay, now they have to hand it over to the Elohim of justice. Power of the beast is all you need. Of course, we need the power of the beast. It's obvious. All kinds of pain shall be healed. And it's talking about the pain that takes over us. The pain that we have, all types of pain that we have, not just physical pain, but mental pain, the pain of all types of, or an entire life of injustices, even subconscious pain that we don't even know what is, which dominates us. Moving on in English, it says, well, that part that says every kind of pain will be healed. Rise up from defeat. Have faith and dare to believe. We are obviously defeated. Daniel says the beast shall defeat, shall subjugate the saints. But of course, and how do you say it? How would I say because of the news? You get a chocolate for the news, exactly, and marmalade because of the stupidity. Chocolate for the news. It says, rise up from defeat. Have faith and dare to believe. Power of the beast shall make you roar. Gonna fight like never before. You'll fight like never before. And you will feel the force is invincible. And you'll feel that the force is invincible. Power of the beast. Well, okay, I've read that part. Power of the beast. Power of the beast. Power of the beast. The demons dread and abhor your fierce and mighty roar. Well, what a spectacular phrase. It's better than any other part of the Torah. I mean, by far, by far. Who are the demons? All the demons are the lies and the deceivers. Those are the demons. It could be your mom, your dad. It could be the government. All those that are deceived, believe it or not, they're deceived. They're demons. The demons fear and hate your fierce and powerful roar. I mean, it's fantastic. Just as much that they take our YouTube account. And not because of a copyright, mind you. No, because many get their accounts taken off because they copied some videos or material. No. I was just speaking. I was speaking. They took out because they didn't like my roar. That I told them, it's a lie. It is a lie. A lie. It's whatever they call the cup of wine. Moving on. Time for the showdown, the climax of the storm. The fearless lion heart is born. It's spectacular. The time of the confrontation, of course, it is the time of the confrontation. The time has arrived. And we want to confront the power. The powers that be, the lies. But Yahweh has to transfer the power of the beast unto us, which will be the climax of the storm. And that is the heart of the lion. But of course, and it has been born. And he has been born, the lion, the son of Yahweh, the sons of Elohim, the bride, all the synonyms that we have. Power of the beast is all you need. And then it repeats every kind of pain will be healed. Rise up from defeat and all the rest. The power of the beast is all you need. All types of pain shall be healed. Rise up from defeat, have faith, and dare to believe. Power of the beast will make you roar. You will fight like never before, and you will feel that the force is invincible. Power of the beast. Power of the beast. And it repeats it 8 times. Last phrase. Though it may be a dark path. In English, it says, though it's a dark road, you know which way to go. The heart that loves always finds home. Spectacular. Absolutely spectacular in every sense of the word. I mean, and I don't find that in the Torah anywhere. Absolutely nowhere. And then it goes and repeats, the power of the beast is all you need. All types of pain shall be healed. Rise up from defeat, have faith, and dare to believe. Power of the beast will make you roar. You will fight like never before, and you will feel that the force is invincible. Power of the beast. Text of the invitation of today is Proverbs 1:23. Pay attention unto my corrections. Today you have all corrections of what the Torah is. Pay attention unto my corrections, and I will fill you with my spirit. And I shall make my thoughts to be known unto you. I shall make my Torah be known unto you. Psalm 78:2. Hear, my people, my teaching. Pay heed unto the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in parables to evoke the mysteries of the past. Let the laurels be eternal, that we knew how to achieve, crowned with glory, let us live. Let us wrap up with a word prayer. Beloved Yahweh, we give you thanks because you feed us from the tree of the science of good and evil that you created, that you made. And you open our eyes to see how blind that we have always been, that we used to look at the Torah as something divine, precious, sacred, with holy laws, righteous laws, pure laws, that would take us to purity, to perfection. And actually, it is all garbage. And you show us that we shall never again make that same mistake of making laws of that type, of subjugating the people with this types of torment and religion. We give you thanks because you show us what justice is and what injustice is, and what all this should change to. And we know that it's a plan, 6,000 years of creation, but we demand from you that it already be the day in which you hand us over the power that the beast has now, that you give us your power to be able to change this whole story and enter into the new messianic era. All this we thank you for in your precious name. Yahweh Sebaot, Alleluia. Semper Fi. A great big applause for the sons of Elohim, which will give true justice and burn Babylon and its laws and all the religious beliefs that there's ever been. Also, a great big applause for all the Argentinians that ate and who will eat gnocchis today. Thank you for the Aguante Argentina, who will play today also, no matter if we win or lose with Peru, because we are actually very, very much brethren. And if you need a hand, we'll let you win even 6-0. There's no problem with that. There's no problem with that. But good thing is that no Peruvian is listening to me either way here. We'll never forget of all the things that Peru has done for Argentina. Incredible, absolutely incredible in every aspect. They are brethren countries with Peru. So then if they need 6 goals, we'll give them 6 goals to Peru, as long as the other ones don't pass on to the next. But either way, since there's no Peruvians listening to me, it's all Argentinians. Aguante Argentina, aguante LV, aguante the Mashiach. And I hope that you comment on this video and you give us a like. Greetings and aleluya to every one of you. Aguante Argentina. Let's go Argentina.